Most people in the Global Information Network have no idea who the Jinn Council is in person. I have, on the other hand, had the opportunity since before I joined this secret society to have been mentored by some of these very key and anonymous individuals. And we must remember why they must remain anonymous. In the current societies, these individuals are still members. And so because of the powers that be, their livelihood, families, and loved ones would be in harm's way if it were not for their remaining anonymous in the current setup of the societies. This group includes members of the Brotherhood, the Bilderberg Group, the Council on Foreign Relations, the Freemasons, Yale University's Skull and Bones, the Illuminati, the Trilateral Commission, and several other elite international societies. The individuals who conceived and helped organize the Global Information Network, the Jinn Council, are and will always remain anonymous. For the first time in human history, the highest-ranking members of these secret societies have encouraged the formation of a new, private, member-only group. A group that allows people who do not qualify to become members of the above-listed societies to join together and be exposed to the same secrets revealed and taught to members of those societies and clubs. Now, the purpose of this series is to help all the little guys in Jinn who are too weak to read between the lines and see through the current deception and master plan that has been set up by the Jinn Council to weed out undesirables and moles from Jinn in order to make the society stronger. Ask yourself how teachable you are to learn the truth about these seemingly confusing and painful current events. Let us begin. Since about June of last year, I've had the amazing opportunity of being mentored personally by one of the very men who brought Kevin Trudeau into the Brotherhood back in roughly about the earlier 1950s. It seemed to me when we first met he knew more about me than I thought. It was quite surreal, to be honest. And the many conversations we have had over the last year have been profound, mind-boggling, and quite lasting in their effect to change me at the very core of who I am and who I am becoming. So without disclosing the identities of Uncle, as Kevin calls them, I will cut to the chase and give you all the insider information on what exactly is going on with people in the Global Information Network, the Pruning, and Dr. Caldwell, among many others who seemingly have been fired and quit Jinn. It is to my essential and true understanding that within the next few months, men like Bush Sr., Bush Jr., Obama, Romney, Clinton, Rush Limbaugh, Bill O'Reilly, Federal Reserve bankers, and thousands of Zionists and Kabbalists across the world are going to be arrested, put in FEMA camps, and tried for war crimes. Look up, America. Your revolution has come, and your freedoms will be restored to you. Quote, "Good morning, beautiful people. This Facebook thing is really strange. While I was really posting some comments yesterday, we had a hacker in the system at the same time. I did not know that two can be logged into Facebook at the same time. Anyway, I am so grateful for all your supportive emails and your love for me, and can just say if I ever have a bad day in my life, I only need to start to sit down and start reading all your caring emails from last night. Good morning, champions. Love all of you, and again, thank you. Dr. Caldwell." Let me break this down hermeneutically, grammatically, exegetically, and systematically. Quote, "No matter what I say in this book, remember that the only cures for disease come from patented drugs, surgical procedures, or medical treatments that publicly traded international pharmaceutical companies sell and politicians and governments have approved. Is this true? Nothing else on planet Earth can prevent, treat, or cure disease. This is called a sarcastic negative disclaimer, which shows the absurdity of its fallacy, an absurd statement made in the negative to validate the obvious opposite, namely, the truth that this is in fact realistically and logically false. That's the law." End quote. This is in fact a fascist FDA law, forcing Kevin to deny his rights to speak the truth freely, thus denying anything for the rest of the book to be taken seriously with weight or conviction. Quote, "By the way, although I look like I am in my early 40s, I am really 70 years old." Now, he wrote this 6 years ago, But that means nothing. If it means nothing, then take KT seriously in his sarcasm and believe that what he just said about natural cures in his health and all of his books are lies. This stuff in this book really doesn't work. End quote. Now, if this statement isn't humorously, obviously absurd, then you must conclude Kevin Trudeau is attacking his own honesty and integrity. This is also contextually impossible and against any sane authorial intent, which leads to the obvious conclusion. Kevin Trudeau just proved from his own honest words that what you read in this book is in fact true, and that the FDA and pharmaceutical companies are the liars. He was 70 years old when he wrote this, so today he is 76 and looks 40. Also, the title of the overall chapter is, "Read this, or they will kill me." So we must read the disclaimer which cancels out the truths of Kevin Trudeau's work and his age in order for Kevin to remain safe and alive. Read Kevin Trudeau's book More Natural Cures Revealed at the beginning chapters and watch this clip of him declaring he is a senior citizen.
People who meet me, I was just on the radio show yesterday. As a matter of fact, you have Maria's interview. We'll be putting this interview up. She met me in Phoenix I was with Eric Mancow Muller and David Icke, who was performing. He was actually giving an 8-hour lecture on aliens and what New World Order and things, which was fascinating. Over 1,500 people were there. So the day after the event, a bunch of us, Mancow, myself, Maria, Jack Blood, a bunch of people got together and had breakfast. David Icke. And I had never met any of these folks before, so we were chatting and so forth and so on. And when I was interviewed by Maria yesterday, she said, do you mind if I ask you how old you are? I said, well, usually that's kind of privileged, confidential information. I mean, I am a senior citizen. She said, when I saw you, and I read your book, and I've met a lot of people who write books on health, but when you meet them, quite frankly, they don't look very healthy. But when I met you, you had this vibrancy, this aura. Your skin was just perfectly clear. Your posture was straight. You had this. Your eyes were bright. Your hair, your nails, your skin. It was all glowing. I thought, this is crazy. The guy has to be older, but he looks like maybe early 30s. I thought you maybe 32, 33, maybe 35, but I mean, you could even go 30. I couldn't figure it out. So she says, you are obviously an example that this stuff works. The answer is, yeah, this stuff does work.